am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name is
Cameron.
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
You got some good questions today.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
There's always room for improvement. I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting on.
I got some of this for you.
Goodness. For me?
Yeah, just for you.
Think about it like this: the promoter pays the fighter, the fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works
for the promoter. Okay. So you are lifting weights currently?
No. When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Can I finish? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about this upcoming?
Aaron, like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show voice of the fan,
Oh my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve.
tears.
Come on, you were adding some spice to it.
It is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right?
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
I'm not caught up to you guys yet. I do
Real, real surprised at that, Ken.
Hey, come here. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, this guy.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's the big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sport.
Thank you for making our voice your choice.
If you haven't told your girlfriend about the show, tell her about the show. If you haven't told your boyfriend about the show, tell him about the show. If you haven't told your cousin, your uncle, your grandfather about the show, let everybody know about the Voice of the Fans podcast.
Hey, man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do. Yeah.
What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man, Cam. And once again, I got the star of the show, your man, Bo, on with me, Bo Crouch from Football Talk with Bo, who he played today as our correspondent from the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl parade. Tell me what you saw and what were your takeaways from the parade?
Yeah, like it was a great event. You know, atmosphere was electric. There was about they only had the stage was in one of the end zones, so they had the other. What's up, Daniel?
What's up, Barry?
They had about 3/4 of the stadium full, so about 40,000 people inside. They said it was about 1 million people in Seattle today.
Downtown, down 4th Avenue, I dare not even go. I didn't even bother to go there. I went to Tacoma. I went the other direction today. But I bet it was a wild scene. Congratulations to the Seahawks. I mean, if anybody who watched the season for most of the season saw that they were arguably one of the best teams in the league, if not they proved that they were the best team in the league yesterday. With that win, McDonald, becomes one of the youngest coaches to coach to win a Super Bowl, actually. So kudos to him. Jason Myers kicked 5 field goals. That was a Super Bowl record. Sam Darnold did what he needed to do. And as we talked about last week, if Kenneth Walker can get can get some yards on the ground, that would be a difference maker for the Seahawks. And it was from the – first of all, let me ask you this. Was it a boring Super Bowl, did you think?
You got to remember, I was a defensive player. I like defense. So
I mean, I was surprised to hear that. I didn't think that thought didn't even cross my mind until I started listening to people talk about it, and they started talking about how it was, no points were scored, it was boring, it was kind of predictable. Well, again, if you watch football this season, you saw that Seahawks were the better team. The defense was ferocious, and the Patriots were going to have a tough time against these guys. What I didn't expect, Drake May has had a couple bad games. Well, now the whole playoffs has been bad for him, but he had a couple bad games. I really expected him to. I know he's playing the Seahawks defense. I just talked about how good they were. I expected a better game. I expected maybe a more controlled passing game. I expected him to use his feet more. He didn't. I thought that would have helped him out a little bit. I just expected a little bit more production out of Drake May. Does Sunday's game speak more to Seattle's defense, or Drake May's inefficiencies, or the Patriots' lack of weapons?
So I think this is where people might have underestimated just how good the Seattle defense was this year. And so I have a graphic for you there.
Okay. Are we ready for it?
Most people look at 2013 Seattle's defense as a top 5 all-time defense. And of course, Steve-O, yeah, we get that you weren't a fan because we got to win a ring in your house. But being said, when you look at these numbers, this is against what the Legion of Boom put up. And again, Legion of Boom 2013 was, largely considered a top 5 defense all time.
Let me see if I can get this overlay off of the screen so we can see your graphic much better. No, none of that doesn't help. Continue to go. Go ahead. I'm figuring it out.
You won your running back touchdown. Well, there you go. At least you got your prop bet in. But yeah, so when you're looking at this, the Legion of Boom averaged fewer points per game, but not by a lot, right? We're talking field goal here. And then you look at total yards allowed. This year was better than the Legion of Boom. When you look at the rushing yards, this right here really lends itself to the question you just asked. They were only allowing 75 yards a game for the season. So,
okay. That stat right there. I like the stat. Thank you for bringing this up. This is actually a great comparison. The takeaways, the Legion of Boom had the advantage. The sacks were this new defense had the advantage. Third down efficiency, 37 to 32%. Let me ask you about this rushing stat. 25 yards in comparison is not a whole lot, but you go from 75 to 100 yards. 100 yard running, 100 yard rushing is a decent game by today's standards.
Yeah,
this was 10 years ago. Now these numbers you're pulling from the Legion of Boom was 10 years ago. Running the ball was more. We haven't got so pass happy. The league hasn't got so pass happy. They weren't doing 7-on-7 drills 10 years ago. So what do you think about that difference in those numbers?
We haven't seen that be enough of a difference.
You haven't seen the game switch from a
no, it has, but not in the last
running
10
game
years.
to an all-out passing game.
Now it's been longer than 10 years now.
Okay.
But still, yeah, I mean, obviously there has been a little bit of a shift away, except we've seen the resurgence of running backs over the last couple of years, right? You're talking about last year. Saquon Barkley was just about to set the single season until Daniel Jones get hurt. Taylor looked like he potentially could get there. So, I mean, you're seeing a resurgence of the running back. So
you're seeing some good running back seasons. I wouldn't say it's a resurgence. We're seeing some good running back seasons, but continue.
Well, you're seeing more running back plays. So I mean, you're seeing a lot of guys getting involved. Obviously, the CMCs of the world, Derrick Henrys. I mean, these guys are all playing at the same time. So it's not like they're taking turns in the league. So I mean,
but it's not like we got three or four running, 5 or 6 running backs over 1,200 yards rushing. We only have a couple, and those are the supreme running backs that are gaining over 1,500 yards.
Some of that is because you have teams like Seattle that have dual-headed monsters. So neither one of those guys are going to be 12 or 1,500 yard rushers because you have a Kenneth Walker and a Charbonnet that are both going to be close to 1,000 yards.
Okay, hold that thought, but I want to come back to Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. But we might as well talk about it right now. Was that running back by committee? Was that out of necessity, or were they unsure who was the man in that backfield? I truly believe Kenneth Walker had a hell of a run in the playoffs. He finally got to get all of the carries, to know he was going to get the carries, to practice and prepare like he's going to be the man during the regular season. And I think it's wise to have two running backs. Don't get me wrong. Don't mix up what I'm saying. I think it's wise to have two effective running backs. I think it's wise for the Seahawks. I wasn't a fan of Charbonnet coming out of UCLA. I may have mentioned that to you before, but I think it's wise to utilize two running backs. I thought that was going to be detrimental to them, but my question was that by necessity that they were running the two-back offense? And I think it was, because there were games where Charbonnet got 3 or 4 carries before Kenneth Walker did, and if Kenneth Walker was the bell cow, that wouldn't happen. If Jerome Bettis, the Jerome Bettis backup, didn't start the game and get 3 or 4 carries before Jerome Bettis got some carries, if you understand what I'm saying.
No, so, I'm with you. I think there's some history that you might be missing in the way you're looking at this. So Kenneth Walker in 23 was a 2nd round pick, and then the following year they did Charbonnet as a 2nd round pick. Back to back, and Walker had a good rookie season, so it's not like he was terrible. The thing to keep in mind, which is why they do the running back by committee here, is since 2014, we've had our starting running back end up on IR all but 1 year. So
I'm not arguing that effectiveness. It makes 100%. It makes good sense.
So this is by design.
Okay. And so you wouldn't see. So what do they do next year? This was Kenneth Walker's contract year. Do they give him a bell cow back style contract, or does he get the modest contract?
He probably gets a thanks for everything you did for us here.
Oh shit! A note and shove out the door.
Hey.
Wow.
Seattle doesn't have a history of overpaying running.
Wow. The Super Bowl MVP is going to be on the free agent blocks. Here is what you're saying.
He is a free agent.
Okay. My question is: are they going to allow him to get to? Are they going to tell him like the Giants did Saquon Barkley? Go see what offers are out there and just come back and talk to us.
Oh no! Because I think they really just move on from it. I mean, really? they'll have the conversation, right?
Really?
But they're not going to give them the best contract that's going to be out there. Someone else is going to overpay for him. I fully expect them to understand that Charbonnet is coming back mid-year.
And they're going to have to draft him back. They're going to have
Halani did well, huh?
They're going to have to draft him back. Halani did well in preseason. I don't know that he did well during the season. I didn't see any big plays from him.
So he was effective in his touches. Is all I was saying there. And then you can go get a cheaper version of a Breece Hall, because again, you don't need.
I agree with you. Big mistake there.
It might be, but the thing is again, Seattle isn't prone to overpaying running backs. So I can see them take the fly. Wait. I can see him taking the flyer on a Breece Hall, because you need him to be there, the main guy, until Charbonnet gets back, and then it's back to running back by committee. So now Breece Hall's injury history isn't a big deal, right. Kenneth Walker also has a very real injury history. He's been injured every year. Wow. So you're not going to probably entertain giving him 10 or 12 a year, even
what does it say?
The MVP of the Super Bowl.
What does that say to your what does that say to your young guys, the guys on your team? If you perform, you're going to be shipped out because we just don't pay. We just don't pay for a top performance. Is that what you're telling the rest of the players?
No, what it means is there's somebody with deeper pockets than you, because there's going to be guys that have way more cap space that are going to be willing to overpay.
Okay, but you're talking about the Seahawks as if they're hovering around salary cap issues. If they're having salary cap issues, as far as I know, they have the fourth most salary cap space in the league coming up this offseason. Why wouldn't you pay a guy who's produced for you in crunch time, a guy who's earned the Super Bowl MVP?
No, I'm with you. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm saying they don't.
Okay, fair enough. So what you're saying, in the point that you made, and again, appreciate this insight, appreciate this history you're giving us. The Seahawks are going to try to find a reclamation project and do it all over again. They just won a Super Bowl. They just won a Super Bowl with the quarterback off the scrap heap. You're telling me now they're going to go get a running back off the scrap heap and try to duplicate this again and try to expect the same performance again?
Half this team's off a scrap heap.
Well, I'm talking about some of the stars.
Talking Cooper Kupp and Rashid Shaheed. And
again, Cooper Kupp. Is Cooper Kupp coming back? Cooper Kupp might not be coming back. I think he signed a 3-year deal.
He signed a 3-year deal.
He signed a 3-year deal. Yeah, he'll be back.
No, but I mean,
DeMarcus Lawrence. So DeMarcus Lawrence. He can't come to the table. He's 12 years into the league. I think he's home. I think he found a home, and you got to keep him for a few years.
He signed a 3-year deal also.
So after 3 years, do they get a watch on their way out the door? Do they get a T-shirt with the Space Needle on it? I love Seattle and the Space Needle or something as you're dropping them off at the airport, GM Bo?
Hey, they probably got a ring. They got this shiny thing with diamonds.
Well, this season they did. My goodness, I didn't know Bo was such a tough guy. Jeez.
No, I mean, again, it's just historically, there's some positions they don't pay. And running back is one of them. Offensive line is the other.
Well, a couple things.
And and Schneider's been the GM for all this.
Yeah, I feel you. I think that offensive line, to all the shots that the offensive line were taking and people were calling. I remember somebody on this show was calling out their offensive lineman by name, in fact. Their offensive line in on Super Bowl Sunday, this offensive line looked amazing. I mean,
who wasn't out there?
Oh boy, here we go.
You know who also wasn't out there for the NFC Championship game?
Who was
same dude.
No, they started. I thought as we talked about last week, one of the major keys to the game was getting Kenneth Walker going. On the very first play, he picked up 11 yards. On the next carry, he got outside again, and he didn't pick up the first down. But on the outside, he on the next play, he got to the outside again, picked up 7 or 8 yards, if I remember correctly. But in 2 plays, he had, he was averaging 9 yards a carry. And I think that was a bad omen for the Patriots. The Patriots' defense held Seattle on that first drive when Kenneth Walker had some good runs. They held him to a field goal. The next drive, Kenneth Walker, I think that was the third drive. Kenneth Walker had the screen pass and broke outside for a big gainer. But they held him to a field goal. This game is 9-0. You want to give Seattle the nod. You want to give Seattle the confidence, but it's a 9-point game. All the Patriots needed to do was score a touchdown.
Yep.
And they're not out of the game.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they move the ball?
Well, I mean, they were absolutely getting torched on their offensive line. Drake May didn't have a good postseason at all anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, for credit to New England's defense, their defense is very good, right?
Yeah, much better than anticipated, I think.
Well, I mean, statistically, they were very good. When it came to just the defenses in the league, they were a great defense.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some very real issues with the offense of New England. I mean, obviously the numbers were a little bit inflated because they did beat up on some bad teams. You have to beat the teams that are on your schedule. It just is what it is.
Sure.
They just happened to play some really bad teams. And when they played them, they beat them up, which you're supposed to do. Right. So, I mean, but because those numbers might have been a little bit inflated, it made you look at them maybe a little more aggressively than they were ready to be. Right. And some of it might have just been, he's young as a quarterback. thrust into this position, because it's not like he played particularly great against the Texans. They win that game because CJ Stroud was imploding.
Was horrible.
The Broncos didn't have their quarterback. Now Stidham played as good as he could, not taking a snap in 2 years. Like they had him as ready as he could be. And they made it a game.
Yeah,
but
they did. They did.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately,
I still contend that the Broncos go for it. They went for it on fourth down, but if they get that touchdown, I was mad at the play call on fourth down, but if they get that touchdown and it go up 14-0,
it's game.
That might have been it for that game there.
No, I mean, based on the way they were kicking the ball, even though they were at the 2, I don't know that they make that field goal. Like there were 5 missed field goals in that game, and that was before it snowed.
Yeah. So you just put up the rankings we just looked at the rankings with the Seahawks defense as compared to the 14 Seahawks, and very favorable, I might say. How do you? I know you don't have the side by side stats, but from your memory, the 2000 Ravens, the 03 Buccaneers, 02 Buccaneers, they won the Super Bowl in 03. Are they there in that level? I don't think they are. I didn't feel they were throughout the season. Like I recall feeling that Ravens defense was ferocious. I recall feeling that Buccaneers defense was unstoppable. How do you want to say you can't run on them? They were a tough defense, but I know when I see that the Seahawks defense is solid. I see what I'm seeing. I know what I'm seeing, but I just didn't feel that they were that Ravens or Buccaneers defense. What do you think?
So I think what the element that this one was missing, that the 13 Seahawks had, that the Ravens had, was the turnovers. They just didn't generate the turnovers that those other squads did. Because when you think back to the 2000 Ravens, which was an absolute juggernaut of a defense, no question, right? You also remember seeing highlights constantly of fumbles and interceptions and whatever. When it came the other way. 2013, right? You're looking at Cam Chancellor and Richard Sherman intercepting balls left and right? Earl Thomas intercepting balls. That was something that was a little bit missing from this squad, even though they were mark for mark with that 13 team the rest of the way. They averaged almost a full turnover less per game for the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's significant.
Yeah, that is. That's huge. They were a good defense. They won the Super Bowl. Yep. Kudos to them. A lot of them, you have to give Snyder some credit. This Super Bowl win, it's a shame.
The last 2 drafts have been money. So, I mean, you have to credit Schneider.
Well, Snyder has done this before is kind of what I was getting at. He's for all intents and purposes, he's led a team to back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. Should have been a Super Bowl win, but back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. And then turn around, fire the coach, get rid of the quarterback leaves. You bring in another quarterback, you bring in a quarterback, You don't have all season. You don't have all season to figure this out. Yeah. There's a 3-week period where you guys have to identify a player because your previous player that you was riding with decided he wanted to go elsewhere. And 6 weeks, not 2 months before the season, you have to find a player who's available, willing to come talk to you guys, and then you turn this guy into a Super Bowl champion. Like. That's money right there. You can't. Yeah. Snyder's this weekend was really good for John Snyder. I'd say that.
Well, and when you look at the last 2 drafts, he's absolutely hit home runs in the last 2 drafts. And I mean, there are parallels, right? So he comes to this team with Carroll. Second year, they win a Super Bowl. Well, he gets McDonald. Second year, you win a Super Bowl. It's like, oh, okay. So that means after next year, if we get into the Super Bowl, you have to fire him, right? Because the next coach is going to be the second year in the Super Bowl. Right. Process.
I mean, if he goes back to back, I'm eager to see what their offense looks like next year. It's going to be a similar offense. I can't imagine. I personally can't imagine they get rid of Walker. You're looking at you're managing their salary cap. You're looking at their numbers. I'm looking at common sense.
Walker's a question mark for sure. You probably do lose Shaheed.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a threat, but I think does Horton make up for that? A healthy Horton make up for that threat?
Yeah, Horton is a beast for sure. But Shaheed was Kubiak's guy. He followed him from New Orleans. I have no doubt in my mind he's going to follow him to the Raiders.
Okay. All right.
So, and then there's other guys that you have to worry about too. Derek Hall, Boya Mafe. Both those guys are, in free agent periods of their careers. So, I mean, we're going to lose some guys. Like it's part of it.
Well, yeah, it's a part of winning the Super Bowl. You typically lose some guys, but you have to believe in Snyder to pick the right guys to fill these voids that you have. I mean, exactly. You have to count on him. He's shown he can do it. He does it.
The real question for this year is we only have 4 draft picks in this draft. So it makes me think that we're going to give up our first round pick. It's the last pick in the first round anyway.
We trade back and get a couple more.
Yeah, because as it sits right now, we have a first, second, third, and a 6th, and that's it. That's our whole draft. Now, that wouldn't be the least amount we've had. In the 21 season, we only had 3 total draft picks of that draft. So it's not to say that we haven't encountered this before, which incidentally is the least amount in NFL history for any team.
But I think what I've seen is they can evaluate talent. Being able to evaluate talent, identify talent.
They couldn't that year. They only had 3 picks and they bombed all 3. But
well, this regime here, I'm talking about being able to identify talent, i.e. a quarterback. And that's huge. That's huge for your team. If you go out there, you already have cap space. You identify some talent, so you have 4 or 5 holes that you need to fill. You pick a couple rookies to fill the holes, and you go out and get some veterans to fill the holes. This is a veteran team. It's a veteran team in the sense that who's the youngest guy on your team on the defense is Imanwari. He's going to be a second-year Super Bowl winner. Now he's no longer a second-year player. He's a third-year player, a veteran in the NFL who can coach up some guys. Now there's expectations for these guys, for him as well. I think
we move on from Rick Woolen. He's also in a contract
because he's on a contract situation.
Well, not just that, but he has a tendency to get burned. In fact, that first touchdown that they got in the Super Bowl was against Reek. When you're looking at the NFC Championship game, obviously he has the taunting situation. He extends that drive and then gets absolutely barbecued on the next play for a touchdown. But he has lots of those moments, and he's a boomer bust kind of corner where he can get turnovers, but he can give up the big plays. He's actually a lot like Diggs in that way. And so I think that may not be a long-term fit with the way they coach here. And so I could see them maybe trading Reek and getting some draft picks from that end also.
You think trading them or signing them and trading them,
huh? Yeah, because I don't remember if he's a straight up free agent or if he's a restricted. So
what did they award the MVP to the right player?
Yeah.
Well, why the heck was Sam Darnold in my teacup in Disneyland? You didn't win the MVP
because
you didn't win the MVP. You're not in my commercial. That's supposed to be my commercial.
Yeah, that's just where the league is. Like the quarterback gets everything no matter what.
Man, come on, man.
But his stats didn't say he was the MVP. Like he played well. He didn't turn the ball over, which was key.
Who, Darnold?
But he wasn't why they won.
No, I think Walker in that offensive line is the reason they won. You can say the defense from just continuously shutting down the Patriots is another reason they won. But I thought you could have given it to the Myers 5 field goals.
100%.
That's a Super
Myers.
Bowl record. But I thought I thought Walker easily had the best day.
So if he would have had the 60 yards that I thought he was going to have, and then everything else just happened, the score was the same, all that, right? But he just had the 60 yards. Myers probably wins, or at least has his name really in that conversation. It's tough for a kicker to win.
Right, yeah.
But realistically, he was probably going to be a defensive player. But the fact that he had over 100 yards rushing, that's a slam dunk.
Yeah,
Like that's an easy MVP nod when your quarterback didn't really do anything special. You're not going to give it to a kicker. And so, it was either going to be a defensive player, except the defense played great as a unit. It wasn't any one guy taking over. Right. So that's where you end up giving it to Walker, because he had the best individual stats.
All right, Bo. We appreciate you coming back and bringing us some feedback from the parade today. Thank you for going out there. Where can the people find you on social media, sir?
Yeah, so you can find me on all the socials, Football Talk with Bo. You can find me on my YouTube channel at Football-Talk. And, of course, on Roku TV and 97.3 ICU Radio.
97.3. Thanks a lot for letting us borrow your guy, Bo. One final question.
Yep.
One final question before, a couple things here. The Seahawks joined the Saints as the only teams to win the Super Bowl during the 50th anniversary. I think that's so cool. 50th anniversary, they win the Super Bowl. I think that was dope. Did you get Bad Bunny? Did you watch Bad Bunny or the Turning Point halftime show that was pre-recorded?
Oh, Bad Bunny. Yeah.
Did you enjoy Bad Bunny? I don't speak any Spanish, but I know I was jamming and bopping my head to Bad Bunny.
Yeah. No. I like Bad Bunny. I wouldn't mind a Daddy Yankee halftime show either. My wife speaks.
Well, he was singing Daddy Yankee. Oh, so you know it was all that was going on.
No. I don't speak Spanish. I lived in Mexico for 2 years. I still didn't learn Spanish. Like
you didn't learn nothing, Bo?
When it comes to languages, I'm dumb. If it's a mechanical thing or sports or whatever, like that, I'm good at. Learning it, I'm still learning English. Okay, let's.
Well, if you put it like that, since you put it like that, want to thank you for your time, man. Bo, May 5th. I haven't heard anything. I've got my shoes ready. I got my outfit ready for May 5th. May 8th, I think it is, the Storm tip-off for the 2026 season. Are you ready or not?
Today, they listed the preseason games. So April 29th will be the first home preseason game. I hope we have players.
Like you not gonna put on the shorts and run up and down the court, Bo?
Hey, it would be ugly. It would be ugly. I don't think the knees would last very long. I know the lungs wouldn't.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it is going to be dope. Looking also on basketball in Seattle. This weekend, there's supposed to be an announcement. I don't want to say it too loud, but there's supposed to be an announcement. If you're a basketball fan in the state of Washington, you might want to pay attention to Adam Silver's press conference this weekend. Might want to pay attention.
Scott, I get my ass kicked if it's me versus Asia. If it was me versus a bench player, I am not winning. I am a long way removed from my best athletic years.
Oh, yeah? But thank you for coming on, Bo. We appreciate your time, big shot. And then we'll talk to you as soon as we can, big guy. Thanks for your time and enjoy your show.
Take it easy, brother. See ya.
Have a good one. Thank you. The hardest working man in media right there is Bo Crouch. Spending his time with us, giving us an update from the Lumen Field. Fans, the only thing I want to say is Seahawks, their title run was built on defense, as we discussed. Special teams, sustainable, complementary offense was great. The Patriots, man, they were playing over their skis, but they got to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to have the first place record next year. They won't be 14-3. I think they'll be 10-6 probably. 11-6 probably. The quarterback changing. Now we saw the coaching carousel going on a couple weeks ago. Now we're going to see in this offseason is a quarterback carousel as teams prepare for their next season and trying to find their quarterback. Arizona needs a quarterback. The Raiders need a quarterback. Dolphins need a quarterback. Carolina got their guy. There's a bunch of teams that need a quarterback, though, all across the league. So the Cleveland Browns, what are they doing at quarterback? What are the Atlanta Falcons going to do? Are they going back to Kirk Cousins or are they going to Michael Penix? What are they doing? So there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks out there. So we're going to see quarterback running wild. AJ Brown, his trade watch. Does he stay or does he go? Does Philly get rid of AJ Brown to send him to a team like the Patriots? He played for Vrabel in Tennessee. Does he go to play for Vrabel in New England? That would be interesting. Give Drake May a target to throw to. Derek Carr, there's been some Derek Carr talk about he's exploring a potential comeback, getting out of retirement. I mean, we're feeling good now, I guess. Christian Gonzalez commits long-term to the Patriots, which is expected. The Raiders, we just talked about a little earlier. The Raiders will sign their new quarterback, Clint Kubiak, and looks like Shaheed will probably go to the Raiders and follow him down there. So, as always, the offseason will be pretty interesting, fans. The offseason is always interesting. The offseason is going to remain interesting because you just don't know what's happening. And so you got to keep an eye on things just to see what's happening. Let's move on to some we'll be talking football, as always, on this podcast. We'll never not talk football. But moving forward, we're going to talk basketball this year until we get to some football action. They'll probably training camp or the draft. The draft will probably take over the first segment, but after the draft, before and after the draft, is going to be NBA talk until training camp. NBA, what's going on NBA this year? I'll catch you up on some of the big things that's going on. Luka Doncic is leading the league in scoring at 32.8 points a game. Karl Anthony Towns is the NBA's top rebounder at 11.9 rebounds a game. Cade Cunningham is a big reason for the Detroit Pistons' emergence. He's leading the NBA with 9.6 assists per game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander lead the league in win shares at 11.4. Shai's efficiency metric shows he's just not scoring. He's impacting every possession of the game continuously. Where I'm at, these are just topics that's happening in the NBA, since we've been all focusing on football, just trying to catch you up on some NBA action. The Pistons are number one in NBA's biggest surprise team. They are the biggest surprise team. Started off the season hot and just being able to continue and maintain that pace. Basically, with Cade Cunningham leading the way. On the flip side of that, it's been the Clippers, man. The Clippers they've had like 4 different seasons in this one season. They had the stuff with Kawhi and the aspiration in the offseason. Then they had the Chris Paul situation where they let Chris Paul go. Then they turned around and went on a win streak, went on 15 out of 19 games, 16 out of 19 games, something like that. And then they turn around right before the all of this in just like 3 months. Then Harden just demands a trade. So, I mean, their season has been wild ride for Clipper fans. I'll say that. Last night, Victor Wembanyama put 37 on the Lakers in one half. Woo! In one half, guys. He was doing Wilt-like stuff yesterday in the first quarter, had 25 points in the first 8 minutes of the game. It was pretty impressive if you saw it. Wemby, I'll call him Victor Wembanyama. Victor is awesome. The Spurs earlier today, Jeremy Sohan. I wonder what's going on with that. There's something behind the scenes on that deal. Sohan was kind of a glue guy. Was he late for practice? Did he cuss out a coach? I'm gonna have to do some research to see why they let Sohan go. But Sohan was a glue guy for the Spurs. So there's a little more to the story than somebody just being waived. I'd be curious to see what that is, and I'll share it with you. The Hornets and Pistons involved in a big fight. Miles Bridges, Musa Diabate, Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren, all getting suspended. Even Hornets coach Charles Lee facing suspensions during this fight. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see how all this shakes out. I think the couple Stewart got 7 games. Diamante Bridges got 5 games apiece, if my memory served me correctly. The coach Lee got a couple games. So that was a big fight that the NBA is trying to obviously stamp down on the fighting and boxing. The NBA embarks on Inglewood this weekend, starting tomorrow night for the NBA All-Star Weekend, which is a huge party. Which is the best part for you guys? Which is the best part of NBA All-Star Weekend? Is it the best parts? Is it going to be the dunk contest? No longer the best part. The 3-point contest is pretty cool. I like the girls, the 3-point contest. I like to see somebody else do it, like a WNBA player versus NBA player, like when Sabrina Ionescu was shooting against Steph Curry. I thought that was a pretty monumental moment. I'd like to see that again. I think the best part of the weekend, what I'm looking forward to most, is probably the rookie versus sophomore game. I think those guys compete. They don't know anybody. They don't know any. There you go. Yeah, I agree with you. They don't know enough not to come out and perform. That's one thing about that young game is they're still trying to make a name for themselves. So they come out ready to try to make a name for themselves. They're happy to be there. They don't know it's not. They're supposed to downplay it. They're happy to be there, and they want to put their talents on display for everybody to see, and earn their way from the Friday night game to the Sunday night game. So I like that the Rising Stars game, the rookies versus the sophomores. I think that's a pretty cool game. I'm eager to see USA versus the world, but they're not going to play a full game. It's going to be like 3 different games. This format, on the surface, kind of stinks already without even us describing it much more. They're going to break up the All-Stars into 3 teams. One team A plays team B, then team A, then team B play team C, and the winner they play each other, and that's going to be it. So there's 3 little games, and that's the All-Star game. Stupid format. I don't like the format. Let's go NBA versus the world. The East and West, I understand it, but we need NBA versus the world. We have enough We have enough good world players that would force the American-born players to play hard, so they don't get beat or get embarrassed. So I think that's a way to get the American-born players to play. Sad that you have to do these type of things, but I think that's what will get us to play. What was your favorite NBA All-Star moment, if you have one? Magic's last game, that always sticks in my mind. Probably not the best game, but it was like a 139 to 132 game. It was a close game down the stretch. Magic, he hasn't played for 6 months. He gets on the court, gets a chance to play again, and it was like he hadn't left the court. He wasn't dominant, but he was still Magic and still pretty darn good. And then he gets a chance, obviously, to go one-on-one against Jordan. And that's why that's what we enjoy, or that's what we want to see, these best athletes in the world competing against one another. A 200-point basketball game is not competition. That's what we saw a couple years ago before they came up with this whack format. And I don't know why the guys don't want to compete. I'm confused as why the guys don't want to compete nowadays. It doesn't make much sense, but that's where we are. Another one of my favorite moments in the NBA All-Star Weekend was when Westbrook won the MVP, and Westbrook comes out there with the attitude that I can't be stopped. And he played like he just couldn't be stopped all game long. From the opening tip, I think he got the rebound and went and dunked the opening tip to the final play that he was in the game. He's running the court, dunking with the same energy and aggression that he played with all the time. I think that was a cool. I enjoyed that game. That was a cool moment. And then this next moment is the Kobe LeBron moment where Kobe, slapped the floor and was ready to play defense against LeBron. LeBron passed the ball at the 3-point line. I mean, I think that moment took a lot of steam out of the NBA All-Star event. Players that think LeBron is the GOAT follow LeBron. They want to be buddy. They don't want to compete. They don't want to take somebody's heart out. Like Kobe was saying at that moment, let's compete. We hadn't played in the NBA Finals against each other. Our teams hadn't. Let's go at it now. And LeBron passed up on that moment. I think that was an infamous moment in NBA All-Star moment. And when LeBron passed up, I think he did the league a disservice, in my opinion. I'd be eager to hear what you guys have to think about that. But yeah, I think the league. I'll be looking forward to the All-Star event this weekend. I just think it could be better. The guys could compete. But I'll be looking for a message from Adam Silver talking about the expansion teams. And I'm hoping that the worst kept secret in NBA history will be coming to fruition, and the Las Vegas and Seattle will be awarded new expansion teams here in the near future. That's what I'm looking forward to hearing from Adam Silver this weekend. And we will be talking a lot about it if that is actually comes to fruition. Team, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man, Cam. I'm recording here live from the Great American Casino, 14040 Interurban Avenue South in Tukwila, Washington. These guys have what drew me here initially was their quality happy hour specials. Now the happy hour special that they have is Wing Wednesday. Every Wednesday, they have $1 wings at Great American Casino every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. $1 wings, hot wings. And, of course, they have all the flavors. But $1 hot wings at the Great American Casino. It is a casino, so you can come on down and play casino. They do have free bonus play Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., Qualified players can receive up to $1,000 in free play, and they have 2 winners every hour. And they just, again, have the happy hour specials, the one I just mentioned to you, $1 wings on Wing Wednesdays at the Great American Casino in Tukwila. That's from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., $1 wings, 14040 Interurban Avenue South, Tukwila, Washington. When you come on down here, make sure you tell them Cam sent you. Looking at this week in history, fans, February 6, 1867, Robert Tanner Jackson became first African-American to earn a dentistry degree. February 9th, 1964, Arthur Ashe joins the U.S. Davis Cup team, becoming the first African-American to do so. February 8th, 1968, Orangeburg Massacre. 3 South Carolina State students were killed during a segregation protest. February 10th, 1989, Ron Brown is elected DNC chair, first African-American to hold this position. February 11th, 1990, Nelson Mandela was released from prison, ending 22 years of incarceration. That's wild. That was a wild number, fans. Guys, ever thought about what movies were released, the big movies that were released this week? The biggest movie released, the highest grossing movie released this week, 2014, the Lego movie was released in 2014, made $69 million opening week. John Wick in 2017 made $58 million. The Kingsman, the Secret Service, 2015 made $46 million. Then Hannibal, 2001 made $42 million. The sequel to Silence of the Lambs. Magic Mike 2012 made $39,000 or $39 million. That's the opening week. It was the highest selling the week of February 4th through February 11th. The top grossing album was The Life of Pablo from Kanye West in 2016. Music by Madonna in 2000. Ray of Light by Madonna in 1998. Whitney Houston in 1985's Whitney. And then Whitney Houston and Whitney in 1987. The commercial blockbuster, first week in sales, multiple number one singles. And then after Whitney was Marshall Mathers with the Eminem LP. Top grossing music album CDs. Boxing update for you fans. Shakur, we talked about Shakur becoming 4th division world champion. Zuffa Boxing. Anybody watching Zuffa Boxing? Expanded after a strong launch. I missed the launch fight. Dana says that he's just going to keep pumping out these fights, robbing these boxers. Zuffa Boxing next week. They have a February 15th event. So that's Sunday. 3-card, the promotion headlined by Ife Ejigba and Charles Martin. So that's a heavyweight fight on Paramount 2 or Paramount Plus. Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios, they're officially booked for February 21 on the DAZN pay-per-view. The USA announces their amateur team. We'll have names for you next week. Undisputed boxing game lands on PS Plus. So this is the first boxing game out on PlayStation in several years. PS5 users subscribers can play the Undisputed, the boxing game. We got spring training coming up this week for pitchers and catchers around the major league baseball. So you guys can quickly, in a short amount of time, go to the ballpark to see your players play. Anybody watching the Olympics? Now, I've heard about Michaela Schifrin losing in her match in I think it was a relay race. And I heard about Lindsey Vonn getting flown out of the arena a couple times. Other than that, anybody watching the Olympics? I know curling was on. America won their first curling medal for the first time. I'm not watching the Winter Olympics. I haven't watched any yet. Let me put it like that. But if you're watching or what you're watching, let us know. Chime in. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. As always, each and every week, we're here to bring you guys some fresh content. Give you guys this week in history. So I want to educate you as we're talking sports as well. And I want to leave this quote for you guys as you guys go on into your world and your lives this week. It always seems impossible until it's done. It always seems impossible until it's done. Somebody tell you can't do that. Well, do it and show them. Okay? Everything seems impossible until you get it done. So work on getting it done. Whatever that is for you, work on getting that done, and you can change things around. And then show your doubters what you've done as well. And that quote is from Nelson Mandela. So it always seems impossible until it's done. I bet after 28 years, he didn't think he was getting, or 25 years, he didn't think he was getting out of prison. And a couple of years later, he gets out of, they let him out. So then the impossible actually happens in his case. Once again, fans, I want to thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for choosing Voice of the Fan. Thank you for listening, however you're listening to us, however you're consuming it, whether it be on H&B Media TV, Voice of the Fans on YouTube, Culture Flex. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. If you really like what you're hearing, hit that share button. Share the show with a friend. Thank you guys for your time. Enjoy your week and holler at you real soon. Thank you for making our voice your choice.